What's up, guys? Welcome back to Radiant Sports Podcast. And today, this podcast coming out a bit later than usual on the Friday, but as the first topic of this pod is going to be, I want to wait for the Euros group stages to finish so I could get into the bracket for the next rounds. The knockout rounds are starting tomorrow as I'm recording this on a Saturday. Just wanted to wait for that to come through so I can give my full insight into what I think is going to happen there. So yeah, let's get straight into that. So the group stage finished, and I would say there's no shocks to who went out, but that's because obviously the third place, rubbish, whatever you think of it, is there. So teams may have got lucky in the third place, best of third place. So we'll go through the groups quickly. Group A, Germany leads first, Switzerland third, and Hungary and Scotland both went out there. Scotland were rubbish, lost to Hungary late on, and Hungary still couldn't go through as the best third place. And Group B had the other third place, which didn't go through because there was 2 out of the 6 groups that didn't go through. So we had Spain first, Italy second, and they just scored an equaliser against Croatia in the last minute to put them through and send Croatia out. Group C, England first, Denmark and Slovenia all through. D, Austria, France, Netherlands and Poland out. An interesting group. Really interesting. France finished in second, which is a surprise. Puts on the other side the draw to England. Austria beating Netherlands in that game, putting them top of the group, and Netherlands finishing third and ending up on the. They're on the good side as well, but yeah, finishing third place is not what they wanted, really. Group E, Romania topped the group. Belgium second, Slovakia third, Ukraine out. Ukraine went out on 4 points. Every team in this group have 4 points, and yeah, like some teams on 3 points go through and they prefer as a best third place, and Ukraine get 4 points and then go out. It's the nature of the format, really. In Group F, Portugal through, Turkey through, Georgia also got through after beating Portugal 2-0 in the final game, and good for Georgia. There's a lot of smaller nations coming through, which is good to see. And I mean, if you're England fan, a lot of the big nations are on the other side of the draw. I mean, the majority of them are. So we'll get into the bracket, really. I'll go through the games, not in the order they've been played, but the bracket. So we start off, top of the bracket, we have Spain, Georgia. Georgia doing great, getting through. It's their first major tournament, and they get to the knockout stages. Unbelievable for them. Got some really good players, well organised, and I think they'll go to Spain a real go. Obviously, I've seen. Seems like Georgia's strong suit is their goalkeeper and their forwards, and for me, Spain's weaker points is their back line. Good going forward. Obviously, Rodri in centre midfield can control things, but I would say their weakest point is their back line. But again, you have Rodri in front; it's hard to get through. But I think Spain they have the quality, and I think Spain will get through that game. Then they would play the winner of Germany and Denmark. For me, Denmark haven't looked good, so for me it's an easy Germany through. Germany have looked really good so far. Then you have Portugal, Slovenia. Again, Slovenia got the draw against England. We weren't good, they weren't good. Portugal did lose to Georgia, but it was their second team almost. Like, didn't even bother bring on Bruno Fernandes. And I think you're sure in the England game, a player like Bruno Fernandes will just cut through and control that game against Slovenia and create chances more than England did in that game, for example, and I think Portugal will go through that. And then big game this, the winner of Portugal, Slovenia will end up playing the winner of France, Belgium. Belgium not doing good again, and then end up with France in the first round. Tough game. Also a tough game for France. To say, obviously, De Bruyne, maybe Lukaku will actually score a goal that's onside. Doku, it's good players, just the weak points is their defence, which is France's strong point. Obviously, Mbappe, Griezmann, Dembele, Thuram. And for me, I think France come through that fairly easily. Belgium aren't that great and haven't looked great this tournament either. So then on the other side, which is easily the weaker side to draw, let's be honest, we have Romania, Netherlands. Romania top the group, Netherlands come third, and that's a tough third place team. You maybe didn't want to play. You want Romania. You wanted one of the maybe smaller, easier nations. But again, I can see Romania could do it. Obviously, what they did to Ukraine, but I think Netherlands are just good. I think Netherlands do come through that, unfortunately, for Romania, and they will play the winner of Austria-Turkey. Again, Austria top the group, play really good stuff, play high press football under Ragnick, and I think Austria come through that. I think they're just a well-drilled team which can beat any team in this tournament, I can say, and they come through that. And then strangely, they'll play maybe Netherlands, who they beat on the last group game. I don't know, it seems strange to me that they can play each other in a quarter-final. That's playing each other in the groups, but that's where the third place sides come into it. And then England, Slovakia, I think England win that. Maybe they get their asses into gear, but I think again with extra time coming penalties, I think we can break through Slovakia. Should break through Slovakia fairly easily. Then they'll play the winner of Switzerland, Italy. Tough game this. Switzerland look good. Same with, actually not. Italy haven't looked good really, and that's why I've got Switzerland going through. Just a good, solid team. Switzerland obviously almost came top of the group until the last minute equaliser for Germany in that game in the groups. But yeah, I see Switzerland coming through to play England. And we go back. We'll go through the whole thing today, because why not? So we have, actually, the semis are on. It's on It's on the Sunday or the Saturday, isn't it? I think I'll wait, actually. I think we can do that next week. That's something to look forward to. Next week's podcast. Going through, I've done my predictions. Let's see if I get them all right. Who knows? And we'll go to the quarterfinals in next week's podcast. I think it's best. So yeah, looking forward to that. We had a 2-day break of football, obviously. However, yesterday that was filled with the T20 World Cup semi-finals, where the first game overnight, Afghanistan lost to South Africa. I think that was the expected result. South Africa unbeaten this tournament, looked really good, and finally get to a T20 final for them, which is good for them. And then the other semi-final, England got battered by India. Let's be honest, it was poor performance by England. India were allowed to get too many runs, and then just a real poor batting performance, unfortunately, for England. Again, India unbeaten, I think. Well, India, South Africa is both performance-wise and results-wise deserved finalists. They are the best two teams this tournament and have been, so deserved finalists. But poor showing for England. Again, I think that might have been the last game a lot of these players play for England. In some sense, I think Moeen Ali's getting older. I'm not sure he has another tournament or left in him. Johnny Bairstow, is it time to move on from him? There's been talk about moving on from him in the Test series, and so there's definitely going to be in the white ball stuff. Is Butler going to still be captain? Are we going to get a new coach? For me, I think we might. I think Butler and Mott always come together. I think a new captain and you get a new coach in, I would say. Butler might play on, but I think he'll step down from the captaincy, and he's obviously won a T20 World Cup, but maybe it's time for changes. It's time for a new generation, I think. Say Butler does stop playing, I'm not sure he will. I think he's still got another good couple of years in him, but again, you have to move forward with Salt, quality player, Will Jacks is the future, obviously the 100 in the IPL this year, and you've got tons and tons of young talent in the white ball game coming through the county system. So yeah, I think be another, you can't even say real rebuild, because a lot of the players playing these, some of them have been picked in some of the squads and they're playing at high levels throughout. But yeah, for England, end of the road unfortunately here. But final this Saturday, South Africa, India. I want South Africa to win. Personally, it'd be good to see them to win a tournament. Also because I think they are coming in as the underdogs, because India they're the best team in the world. You've got to be on it. So many good players and experience in big matches. Who do I go for? Heart wants South Africa. Head says India. India, quality bowlers, and yeah, I'm going to go India. That's my prediction for their World Cup final. And there's a big week in combat sports coming up, but we'll start off with last week in the UFC. It was the Saudi Arabia card. Robert Whittaker defeated Asklarov, first round knockout. Comfortable performance by him, and the Reaper is back like he never went away. And there's 1-5 here. Obviously, it's Izzy against Drickus for the title in Perth on 306. Whatever the number, I think it's 306 or 305. might be 3 or 5. One of the cards, pay-per-view cards down under. But Robert Whittaker's in that conversation. He needs to get another title shot, I think, and there's only one number 1 contenders fight to make. Sean Strickland, Robert Whittaker, they haven't fought before. Winner gets the next shot. Sean Strickland's obviously says he's number 1 contender, beat Izzy, lost to Dricus, very close. He says he's not going to fight until he gets the opportunity at the belt, but I think UFC just got to say, look, you're not getting it unless you prove it, because Robert Whittaker sells. Robert Whittaker's he is a star, and he's one of the best mixed martial artists in that division. So I think that's the fight to make. Make it co-main at Perth. Izzy, Dricus, then Whittaker, Strickland. What card that would be? I think that's the way to go. In the co-main, you had Sergey Pavlovich, lost to a decision to Alexander Volkov. Volkov, great performance, just sniped down. Pavlovich just busted his nose up, just used a jab, kept it long, didn't let Pavlovich go on the inside like he always wants to, and land that big power shots, and deserved winner and a great performance. Obviously, I think now the fight has to be, they fought before, but I think Cyril Gane's been looking for an opponent after ducking Tom Aspinall in Paris. They fought before. I think Volkov deserves another chance, and there's also no one else for Gane to fight that isn't like ranked 10 and above. There is Almeida, I say, but Gane's never taken that fight after proving he got out-wrestled by Ngannou, got out-wrestled by Jones. He's not taking a wrestler, and I think Volkov's the guy he's beaten before. Volkov deserves another shot at those top guys, and I think that's a fight Gane will actually say yes to, so I think that's the way. Pavlovich, again, there's some big fights out there. Let's see. I'm just going to take a look. Heavyweights. Who could Sergey Pavlovich fight now? Obviously, lost to Tom and lost to Volkov. But again, you may say, how good is Tom Aspinall beating these guys? Just looking at his fought. So he's already beaten Blades, he's already beaten Tuivasa, he's always beaten Derek Lewis. Let me just go to the rankings real quick. Who? So, I mean, the fight would have been Gane, but maybe Volkov gets there now. Could Pavlovich come back for that? Yeah, but I say it's unlikely, as Volkov deserves the fight over him, and there's no one else for him to fight higher up. Pavlovich will have to fight down. He's beaten Blaze, just lost to Volkov. Stipe's not fighting at 6, and next is Almeida, and I think Almeida, I don't know, can Pavlovich wrestle? People seem to say it has, but he hasn't proved it yet. Ooh. Could go Tybura or Spivak, maybe. Tybura coming off the win over Tuivasa. Maybe Tybura. That's the fight, potentially. Number 9, obviously lost to Aspinall, but coming off a win over Tuivasa, ranked 8. Pavlovich, Tybura, maybe, because I think everyone wants to keep away from Almeida, really, if you can't wrestle, but anyone half well-rounded will take it. So maybe that is the fight. That would be an interesting fight, a striker against a wrestler. Who knows? But yeah, for that, interesting card. But now, let's get into it. Let's get into this weekend. It's UFC 303. It was meant to be McGregor-Chandler. Obviously, that fight fell out due to a McGregor injury. So instead, guess who steps up? The bat signal goes out, and Poatan answers. Alex Pereira is defending his light heavyweight title, against Jiří Procházka for a second time. Short notice fight. 2 absolute legends, these guys. 2 of my favourite fighters in the UFC. Just unorthodox and just quality operators. Interesting fight. Obviously, Alex beat Procházka the first time as a knockout. But was it a questionable knockout? Was he actually knocked out? Was it early stoppage? Who knows? I thought it was okay. But again, Procházka took that after 18 months out with one of the worst shoulder injuries the UFC say they've ever seen. Now he's been active. This is active Jiří. Obviously came with a loss at 300. Came through a storm and beat Rakic. It's the same card that Pereira beat Jamal Hill. So both coming off really good performances. And I think this fight's going to be even closer than the third one. There's 2 tough guys. Really interesting fight. But with an active Jiří, does that bring it close together, or is Alex Pereira just going to be that sniper again and is going to land that big left hook like he has done against Procházka, against Hill. It's a tough one. Really tough one to predict, this one. Obviously, coming off an active streak from Jiří. Late notice as well. I believe Jiří said he said yes to the fight, but he was surprised that Alex actually took the fight. Pereira's got 2 broken toes. Does that play into it as a kickboxer, heavy mixed martial artist? You never know, but he's got the heavy hands. But Procházka's proven he can weather a storm against Rakic. Alex Pereira lost his last rematch in the UFC. Could that be it as well? Never know. Tough to fight this. You know what? I know what I'm going to go for. We're going to go for a Jiří win to set up the trilogy, baby. Let's go. Procházka win. We'll get a trilogy fight. That's the way to go. So, therefore, to get the trilogy, honestly, these guys fight again and again and again because they're both quality. We'll go Jiří win. Trilogy inbound. Not on short notice. So, yeah. There's that for the main event. And a new co-main event that got slotted in as well, late notice. Brian Ortega against Diego Lopez at featherweight. Brian Ortega, ranked number 3 in the UFC. And Diego Lopez is ranked number 14. I think it's 14. Anyway. Ortega coming off that win. Great win over Yair Rodriguez. Diego Lopez on a 3-fight first round knockout streak after his debut loss in the UFC at short notice. But can Diego Lopez be that guy? Interesting. Have we seen over recent times a lot of the old guard beating the up and comers? Think Poirier, Saint Denis, think Gaethje, Fiziev, and as much as I like Diego Lopez and want him to win, I think there is just a gap here, and I think Ortega, once he sees that neck open, he'll take it. And for me, but then if Lopez lands in the first round, interesting. And Lopez have got good ground game as well. Let's not forget that. And he was swaying me. The odds right now, Diego Lopez is favourite, but we've seen it time and time again. I'm gonna go Brian Ortega. The young up-and-comers taking a big jump, ranked 14-3. If Lopez gets this, he's in line for a title shot next. And a Brazilian card for the featherweight title. That would be unbelievable. I think I'm going to go Ortega. I think experience there. I think he's proven his level of performance, Ortega, and I think it's a big, big step up for Lopez. But you never know. He might take it. Another fight. Anthony Smith against Roman Dolidze. Obviously, this was meant to be Jamal Hill against Roundtree. Roundtree pulled out. It was against Jamal Hill against Ulberg. Hill pulled out. So then Smith against Ulberg. Ulberg pulled out. And now here we go. Roman Dolidze stepping up a weight division to light heavyweight to fight Anthony Smith. Gonna be an interesting fight, this. Anthony Smith, obviously, the guy is ranked number 10. Been around for ages. Dolidze coming off 2 losses at middleweight. However, maybe should have won the first of those losses against Vettori. But Dolidze has fought at light heavy before. So he's been at the weight before and he has won when he first came to UFC. Could be an interesting one, this. And I think, for me, I have to go with Dolidze for me. I think on the late notice, he's a quality operator, Dolidze. And Anthony Smith, for a while, he's on a win streak, right? How many fights is it? I say win streak, actually, sorry. He's on a 1-fight win streak. But he's only beaten the people further down. Obviously, he's lost to a lot of fighters here that are in the top 10. Beating the up-and-comers, but I think that's where his level stops. He is the ultimate gatekeeper in that division, the upper ranks gatekeeper, not even the top 5 gatekeeper. I think Dolidze has this one for me. The other fight, the big fight I want to mention, it should be co-main 5 rounds, as that's what everyone wants to see. Ian Gary against Michael Venom Page, number 7 against 14 at welterweight. Venom Page coming off his debut UFC performance against Kevin Holland. What performance that was. Ian Gary coming in, wants to be fighting up the rankings, but this fight is just money, baby. This fight sells. Gary MVP maybe should have been in a Manchester card. Would have been quality, but you know, it's gonna be a banger. I want it to be 5 rounds. It's not. It's only 3. It's opening up the pay-per-view. Tough fight, this. I don't know how to predict this one. You know, Gary is proving his quality, talks the talk and walks the walk. MVP is so unorthodox, man. Those knees, that karate style comes from anywhere. The age is on Gary's side. MVP is 37 now. He's got to go for a title in his first run. Let's be honest, and this is the chance. Win this. He said he wants Kamaru Usman and then the belt. Same with Gary. Win this. He wants Colby, as he's calling out for this fight. Colby Covington and then the belt. Tough fight. This might be one of the closest fights on the card, including the main event. Well, there's 2 banging fights there, but fuck it, we'll go MVP. Let's go. Rep in the UK, Michael Venom Page to beat Ian Gary, and that's my prediction for that fight. So that's pretty much it for the 303. We'll go over to boxing now. We'll go over the weekend gone. There's a card at Birmingham. We had the European title on the line. Tyler Denny against Felix Cash. Felix Cash, the name in that fight. The guy has been out for a while, but was destined for greater things. Tyler Denny's worked his ass off on the small horse scene, got signed with Boxer, been pushed these fights, and getting his opportunity to defend his European title in Birmingham again, bringing that home crowd out, and maybe an upset. It was stopped early to a head clash and a cut on Cash's eye, but 5 rounds in, went to scorecards, and Tyler Denny was up on every single scorecard by a distance. So he just put in that work in his first couple of rounds, and even if the cut didn't happen, you kind of saw that was going to be the rest of the fight. That's the way it's going. Denny just getting on the inside, doing that dirty work like he does really well, and yeah, Felix Cash, I don't know. I think there is quality there. I've seen the new trader, Adam Booth. I think go away, get a new fight. There's plenty of people in that middleweight division. Obviously, who can we say? We've got Nathan Heaney coming up against Brad Paul soon. That could be a fight. British title. Obviously, Cash has won it before against Denzel Bentley. Lots of fights out there for Cash to rebuild. And obviously, just announced Tyler Denny is on the AJ undercard fighting Hamza Shiraz. And god damn, that's another step up. Big step up, but fair play to Denny. He's getting that payday week after the fight, getting on a AJ Wembley card that got that Saudi money, that Saudi payday. He's defending his European title against Hamza Shiraz. Hamza Shiraz was talked about getting a world title fight on this, not a European title fight or a Chris Eubank Jr. fight. So fair play to Tyler Denny, but that's a tough fight. You have to be the best Tyler Denny you've ever seen to beat Hamza Shiraz. I'm not sure he can, but you never know. Thought Felix Cash would have won this fight. He didn't, but that's an even bigger step up as Hamza Shiraz because he's quality. But yeah, also the co-main banger fight, that was Lewis Crocker, Conor Walker, really close, a point or two either way in the end on the scorecards. But yeah, what a fight. I want to see Conor Walker back, obviously, see his fight again, but obviously apparently it's been signed. Lewis Crocker, Paddy Donovan in Ireland. Battle of 2 up-and-coming Irishmen. What a fight it'll be. Let's see who's the real deal. And I was glad to get to see that fight early on instead of like a lot of time where 2 people chat and they just avoid each other for too long and then the fight never gets made. It's good to see it get made early on. And let's go with that. And this weekend, biggest fight in boxing this weekend, we have Estrada against Bam Rodriguez for the super flyweight world titles in Arizona. And damn, Estrada's a legend. Bam's going up for his belt. But yeah, it's like Bam obviously coming off the sorry, where am I reading here? Bam coming off the Sonny Edwards performance down at flyweight, mind you, unifying that division. Now stepping up to fight one of the goats of the divisions, Estrada. Quality record, 44 fights, 44 wins, 3 losses on that. been around the block for a while, but Jesse Rodriguez going up in weight. He's been bouncing around these 2 weights for a while, and he's proved he is the guy. He is the guy at these weights. He is one of the pound for pound best in the world, top 10 pound for pound, and winning this fight might be top 5 pound for pound. Let's be honest, he's quality, knocked guys out in his lower weight division, he's got heavy hands, and he's a quality boxer as well. He proved against Sonny Edwards he can box, he can bang, and yeah, for me, I think Bam comes through this and then maybe unify this division, go back down to flyweight, get undisputed there, undisputed this weight division, or there's been talk about the Inoue fight. If you want it, you're gonna have to do it soon because Inoue is going to go up again, and then the weight division is going to be even. The weight gap's going to be even bigger than it already is. So maybe we see that fight. It could be a tough one for Bam if he does get it, but obviously you've got to come through this first. Co-main, Sonny Edwards is back. Find Curiel, the former champion from the weight division below. So that's light flyweight. Light flyweight, yeah. Going up in weight. Sonny Edwards back at the scene of crime where he got his first loss to Bam. But I think Sonny Edwards comes through this again. We're going to get the old Sonny Edwards back, boxing around the ring, outboxing Curiel, and I think he'll get the win. And hopefully gets another world title shot. If maybe Bam stays at Superfly, he can get his old belt back. You never know. And yeah, one also thing, we got the F1. We just had the Spanish Grand Prix this past weekend, and close again. The team's getting ever closer, performance is getting closer, everyone's getting close to Max, but Max did end up winning this. He beat Lando by just over 2 seconds. Lando in second, as mentioned. Hamilton getting his first podium of the year, came in third in Mercedes. Russell fourth, Leclerc fifth. Yeah, they're getting ever closer and closer. But Max is just getting enough points each weekend to keep his leads at the gap it has been from the first couple of races when the Red Bull was so far ahead. And this weekend, it's a sprint weekend at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, so it's Red Bull's home race. Can Max perform again? They have done for the last couple of years, home race, but you never know. Mercedes upgrades, McLaren coming through, Ferrari, can they get back up to the top after dropping down a couple of places last couple of races? It's going to be interesting stuff, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Got the Euros coming this week, the knockout rounds. We've got the T20 World Cup final. We've got the UFC 303. We've got some great World Championship boxing. We've got the Grand Prix this weekend. It's going to be another great week of sport, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this podcast, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.